What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop. So while the hype is currently building for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee while we wait these last couple months before the games are released, there are many fans that are more so looking forward to the core Pokemon games that are going to be coming out next year, aka Generation 8. And while yeah, I am certainly hyped for the Let's Go games, I've gotta say that I'm even more hyped for Generation 8 because it's going to be a completely new game and it's going to give us a completely new region to explore. Getting to experience a brand new region is one of the most exciting things about playing through a new Pokemon game, because of course they're all based on real-world locations, and it's really exciting to see real-world culture translated into the Pokemon world. So in this video, I am going to be looking at what I believe are the top 5 region locations for the Generation 8 Pokemon games coming out in 2019. Now, this list is going to be a combination of what I personally want to see, as well as what I think is most likely, so keep that in mind as you watch the video. With all that being said though, I absolutely love discussing this stuff, so let's just jump right into it. My pick for number 5 is none other than the land of red hair and bagpipes, and that would be Scotland. Now, first things first, I personally believe that the Generation 8 Pokemon games are going to feature a region based somewhere in Europe, so that's going to be a trend you will see throughout the video, and if we do get a Europe-based region, Scotland would be an amazing choice for several reasons. First up is the geography. Now, while I never have been to Scotland myself, unfortunately, because I live in America, it's pretty easy to see by doing a Google search that the geography of Scotland is amazing and it's an absolutely beautiful country. It's a beautiful location with a lot of mountains, hills, valleys, plains, rivers, lakes, and it just has a very fantasy-esque type of setting that would be the perfect basis for a fantasy type of game like a Pokemon, where the region is such a big emphasis. Another reason I think Scotland would be perfect for a Pokemon region is the culture. I think the culture of the Pokemon regions and the places that they're based on is such a huge element in the games because it really gives the flavor to the games and to the region themselves. And Scotland, obviously, with its bagpipes and its kilts and its red hair, has a very, very distinct culture that I think would translate beautifully into the world of Pokemon. And finally, there are 2 things in particular that basically clinch Scotland as a place we need to see a Pokemon region of at some point, the first of which would be the bagpipes that I mentioned earlier. If we ever got a Scotland-based region, you know that Game Freak would be putting bagpipes into the soundtrack, and bagpipe Pokemon music is something that I need more so than basically everything else in this world. The other thing is that, believe it or not, the national animal of Scotland is actually the unicorn. And aside from the fact that Scotland is completely awesome for having the unicorn as their national animal, that would be the perfect reason to give us a unicorn Pokemon, and probably, considering it's the national animal, they could make it a legendary Pokemon, and I know every single one of you watching this video wants and needs a unicorn Pokemon because that's just basically a universal truth. So yeah, we need to see Scotland as a Pokemon region, and hopefully it happens in Generation 8. At number 4 is a place that I want to see be made into a Pokemon region almost exclusively just because it's probably the most beautiful looking place I've ever seen in my life, and that would be Switzerland. Now, in recent weeks, Switzerland has absolutely skyrocketed up my list of favorite countries and places I want to go to because it looks absolutely beautiful, almost as if it's a completely different world. Now, I believe this would translate so well into the Pokemon world, especially now that we're on the Switch and we obviously have HD graphics and HD capabilities, so seeing a Switzerland Pokemon region in HD on the Switch is just an absolute pipe dream of mine, and it would be an absolute godsend if it happened in Generation 8. Also, similar to Scotland, Switzerland does have a unique culture of its own as well that I think would work really well in the Pokemon games, and while it's not as distinct or noteworthy as Scotland's culture, its culture is really cool as well, and I just think it would provide a really unique flavor, as I said before, to a brand new Pokemon game. The final thing that makes Switzerland a rather interesting candidate for a Pokemon region is the fact that it borders France, which obviously in the Pokemon world would mean that a Switzerland-based region would most likely border Kalos, and we all know we've been wanting to see what is next to Kalos because there's that whole Koraway train station that's on the east side of the region that goes to somewhere we don't know yet, and wouldn't you know it, Switzerland is kind of like right in that position to where the Koraway train station could connect to it based on where Koraway town is and based on where Switzerland is in relation to France. So it would all work out really nicely and would just be really, really fun to play through if they decided to make it a reality. For number 3, we've got a country that basically takes the best points about the previous 2 picks and combines them into one, and that would be Italy. Now, I actually made a theory video fairly recently discussing why I believe there is evidence to suggest that an Italy-based region could be happening in Generation 8. However, aside from the theory and the supposed evidence, it really just would be a good fit in general either way. While Italy doesn't necessarily have the beautiful landscapes, in my opinion, that Scotland and Switzerland do, it obviously is a beautiful country that would look good in a Pokemon game, and it's obviously got the culture as well, probably even more so than the previous 2 picks. On top of this, one thing that Italy does have is the history. There is a lot of historical significance going on with Italy, both in current, recent history, and even ancient history, so there is so many things from that the Game Freak could use in terms of story, in terms of building the region, and it would just make for a really, really cool place to play through. Finally, just like Switzerland as well, Italy does connect to France, which means an Italy-based region would likely connect to Kalos, and even though it's not necessarily a requirement for a region to be close to another existing region for it to be more likely to actually happen, it would obviously be cool because if there's a region that's close to Kalos, it means the likelihood of being able to travel back to Kalos and go to another region in a Pokemon game is that much more likely, and that's something we all want to see, so I really hope something like this happens come 2019. In the runner-up spot at number 2 is a place that I think everyone pretty much would be really excited if we got to see a Pokemon region of it, in particular a few PokeTubers I know, and that would be England. Now, England is a prime candidate to become a Pokemon region for a number of different reasons. It's got the geography, it's got the history, it's got the culture, and it's got the advantage of being a majorly significant place and country in our own world, which basically gives it a little bit of a leg up when compared to these other countries. And it's that fact that England is such a significant place in our own world and it's such a well-known place that I think makes it a prime candidate to become a Pokemon region very soon, if not in Generation 8, then definitely somewhere down the line, just because you can't have a Pokemon game without such a significant place when you've already got regions based on America and France and Japan. It's just gotta happen at some point. And while I am personally no expert on what the animals of England look like, I am sure there is a plethora of animals and great ideas to pull from that would make for an amazing Pokedex, so I certainly hope we get to see an England-based region very soon. And for the number 1 pick, we've got the country that I personally think is the most likely, combined with a lot of things that I personally would like to see in a region myself personally, and that has got to be none other than Spain. Spain really has everything going for it when it comes to becoming the Pokemon Generation 8 region. Obviously, it's got everything that all of my other picks had in terms of the pros, with the culture, the geography, the history, the proximity to Kalos, aka France, because it borders on the southern edge. It's really just got everything going for it in terms of what we've already talked about, but also it's got evidence to back it up that it could actually be the Generation 8 region. While not definitive evidence or anything, the new Pokemon movie that just came out in Japan earlier this summer obviously has a setting that looks very much like a European type of setting, and on top of that, Ash's new jacket that he's wearing in the game has a collar that bears a striking resemblance to the flag of Spain, using the exact same colors and even using the exact same pattern. This, combined with a general feeling that we are going to get another Europe-based region, just makes it seem really likely, as much as any other place, that Spain is going to be the setting for the next Pokemon games, and I would absolutely love that, just because it fits everything about what I like in terms of a Pokemon region. It's got the type of geography I like for a Pokemon region. It obviously has plenty of culture that would just be beautiful to see in a Pokemon game. It's obviously got a ton of history and cool locations and things about it that would also translate super well into a Pokemon game. And it's obviously got, no doubt, a ton of great ideas, animals, inspirations that would just make for some great Pokemon, and overall, it would just make for a fantastic Pokemon region. And so because of that, combined with the actual likelihood of it becoming a real thing in Generation 8, is why Spain is my #1 choice for the Pokemon Generation 8 region. So there we have it, everyone. Now obviously, even though I have Spain as my top pick, I would be absolutely ecstatic with any of these locations getting the region treatment. And if my hunch is correct that we're going to get another Europe-based region in Generation 8, I am going to be absolutely hyped no matter where they decide to base the region on. If you guys enjoyed the video though, be sure to give it a like and let me know down in the comments below what you think of these picks and what you would like to see the region of Generation 8 based on. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for way more Pokemon content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and you should go check me out on Spotify for my Pokemon remixes, as well as my Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee giveaway that we're going to be doing when the games come out. With all that being said though, I'll be back on Saturday for another video, so hit that notification bell so you can know when it goes live, and until then, as always, I will smell you guys later.